Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be reacting to the deserved downfall of James Corden by Internet Anarchist.
James Corden is the living definition of never meet your idols, because even though he rose to stardom as a lovable comedian who earned the adoration of his fans by being genuinely grateful for the success he'd achieved, and then became one of the most popular and endearing late-night talk show hosts on US television,
it really isn't lost on me what a privilege it is to be given a show like this, and I will really do my best not to let any of you down, truly.
His off-camera antics exposed him for who he truly was, an egotist who let fame go to his head, and an obnoxious bully who was horrible to anyone who couldn't advance his career.
You can see my belly, and we can all see you dying right now. Let's go for it. Here we go.
Which resulted in him not only destroying everything he'd built, but also having to flee the country. Hi, I'm the Internet Anarchist. I create weekly YouTube documentaries, and today we'll be discussing the satisfying downfall of James Corden, how he gained the love and respect of his fans and peers through his gracious everyman persona, how that said persona crumbled along with his reputation, and how he didn't just destroy his own career, but also one of the longest running late-night television shows in the US. But if you want to protect my channel from destruction, all you have to do is subscribe. So hit that red subscribe button and let's get on with the video. Contrary to popular belief, James Corden wasn't an industry plant that was simply thrown in front of US audiences out of nowhere. He actually worked his way up from modest beginnings in the UK, bouncing between very brief, often forgettable parts across the British entertainment scene, from the musical theatre production Martin Guerra to the 1997 sports drama film 24/7, and even a gig in the long-running TV soap opera Hollyoaks. He was trying to take whatever opportunities came his way, before finally landing a recurring role in the British drama Fat Friends as Jamie Reimer. This gave him the chance to appear in front of a wider TV audience on a daily basis and gain more notoriety. But more importantly, it was on this show that he met and befriended his co-star Ruth Jones, who would later co-create the 2007 British sitcom Gavin and Stacey with him, where James Corden played the role of Smithy, the loud but endearing best friend to one of the main characters, Gavin.
I'm the creator of some of Billericay's biggest jokes.
You are Billericay's biggest joke.
Oh, shut it, you slag.
No, you shut it, you slag.
You slag.
You slag.
You slag.
You slag.
No, you slag. You slag. You slag. Shut it, you slag. Can I have large cotton chips, 2 battered sausage, chicken and mushroom pie, can of shandy bass, and cherry tango?
This ended up becoming Corden's breakout role, not just because of his own performances, but also because of the show's immense popularity. You see, Gavin and Stacey showcased the romance between a British man and a Welsh woman as the centerpiece, making it an instant hit among the Welsh audience, who had historically been underrepresented in the British entertainment industry till that point. As a result, it became a cultural phenomenon in Wales specifically, with over half of Wales' population watching the Christmas Day finale. Corden himself went on to win the Best Comedy Performance Award at the 2008 BAFTAs for his role in the sitcom, which ended up opening the door to several other opportunities, allowing him to host the Brit Awards multiple times, regularly feature on multiple panel shows, and even co-host a charity drive for the UK charity telethon Comic Relief, firmly establishing himself as an up-and-coming celebrity in Britain. But the real reason he gained the audience's admiration was for his grateful, gentle persona, which always managed to show itself on camera. However, off-camera, this was when Corden's real-life personality started creeping its way to the surface. Corden even admitted to letting his early fame go to his head in an interview in 2015, stating, "It's a really mind-altering time, that first flash of fame, and you start to perhaps think you're a bit more of a dude than you really are." A sentiment that probably a lot of celebrities can relate to. Fortunately for him, his Gavin and Stacey co-star, Rob Brydon, was quick in trying to get him back on the right track, telling him directly, "Look, this is a bit awkward to say, but I'm just hearing these things about you, and you've got to know that the way you behave has an effect on people." Even his family stepped in, with his sister giving him a hard reality check by saying, "James, don't be a dickhead." Unfortunately for Corden, this realization was too little too late. His career had been in a freefall for many years before this point, and partly because he had hit the limits of talent before he had even stepped foot in the big leagues. Starting with the comedy sketch show he created in 2009 alongside another one of his Gavin and Stacey co-stars, Matthew Horn, titled Horn and Corden. This turned out to be an absolute flop, with The Telegraph even calling it, quote, "about as funny as credit default swaps," resulting in people re-evaluating Corden's acting ability at the height of his popularity in the UK. The show was eventually cancelled after just one season. However, that wasn't the end of Corden's failures, because his next project, a movie titled Lesbian Vampire Killers, would suffer the same fate, when it absolutely bombed at both the box office and in the critics' room, with a horrible 28% rating on Rotten Tomatoes and a 5.1 out of 10 on IMDb. That said, his box office failures could still be explained away as a relatively young actor trying to find his way in the industry. However, the same can't be said for what happened when he was hosting the 2010 Glamour Woman of the Year Awards, when an event designed to celebrate the women of the entertainment industry turned ugly, and briefly disrupted the illusion of Corden's kind, lovable persona. It all started when Sir Patrick Stewart, Charles Xavier himself, called Corden out for looking uninterested during the award ceremony.
I want to speak to James here. It's James, isn't it? When the presenters are up here and when the recipients are receiving their awards, don't stand at the back of the stage with your hands in your pockets, looking around as though you wished you were anywhere but here.
Oh, you couldn't be more wrong, sir. You couldn't be more wrong.
Now, he had a chance here to take the criticism with grace and even improve his image after the disaster of his most recent projects. But Corden's ego got in the way and he lashed out, responding to the criticism with a rude comment of his own.
Oh, genuinely. And if it looked like that, I'm so sorry. But when you come up and present an award, just get on with it. There we go.
And the situation only escalated from there, with Corden having another outburst because of Sir Stewart taking a dig at his weight.
Sorry, I'm waiting for the punchline. Go on. No, seriously, go on.
Okay.
No, go on. You can see my belly, and we can all see you dying right now. Let's go for it. Here we go.
Later on in the show, Zoe Saldana, who had won Best Actress of the Year for her role in Avatar, tried to defuse the situation with humor.
For whatever it's worth, I like your belly, so.
But that didn't stop the pair from overshadowing her moment with their heated argument in the background.
But I would pay to see Sir Patrick Stewart dying on stage any day, so.
Now, granted, some people still believe Sir Stewart was in the wrong for calling Corden out publicly, when he could have just had a quiet word with him backstage. That said, the manner in which Corden lashed out was still distasteful and unnecessary, and ended up showing a side of him that was uncharismatic, rather than the lovable Smithy that the UK audience had grown to love. However, despite his outburst, Corden would go on to get even bigger opportunities, mostly on name recognition, the most famous of which has to be his role as the host of A League of Their Own, a sports-based comedy talk show consisting of some of the biggest TV and sports stars in the UK. He also started getting more roles in musical theatre plays like One Man, Two Governors, which seemed like a step in the right direction.
I've got 2 jobs. How did that happen? Oh, you got to concentrate, ain't ya? With 2 jobs. I mean, I can do it, as long as I don't get confused. But I do get confused.
with the show even making its way to Broadway and even earning him a Tony Award for Best Actor in 2012. Despite his slightly problematic behavior in the past, it seemed like Corden had a clear path ahead of him in the British entertainment industry. However, just a couple of years later, Corden took a gamble on himself, deciding to grab an opportunity that changed everything for him. In 2014, the host of CBS's The Late Late Show, Craig Ferguson, announced that he was stepping away permanently. This decision came as quite a shock to longtime fans of the show, especially when they learned that his replacement would be none other than James Corden. Naturally, this announcement was met with plenty of confusion. After all, most of the US audience had never been exposed to James Corden's work. On top of that, the man he was replacing wasn't just any other talk show host. He was an icon. You see, with Craig Ferguson as the host, The Late Late Show had set itself apart from the classic late-night talk show format for the past 10 years, foregoing all the scripted questions and forced celebrity anecdotes for real, unplanned conversations.
I get to open a box and take out a mouth organ? Really?
Don't say it like it sounds dirty. Actually, do say it like it sounds.
Every time I think about it, yeah, that's true. And I know, oh my gosh. Well, I was there during summer too, so it goes on all night long.
Which helped the audience relate to the celebrities they were seeing on a more personal level. But with James Corden, even though he came off as quite humble and grateful,
it really isn't lost on me what a privilege it is to be given a show like this, and I will really do my best not to let any of you down, truly. I promise it'll be fine, I promise.
the audience was hesitant that he'd be able to replace Ferguson's success. However, Corden had an advantage over Ferguson that no one realized. He knew how the newer generation consumed content. While TV ratings were still important, he realized that the real money was in creating viral moments that could be shared online the next day. So instead of focusing on long monologues for the live audience that his predecessors had done, Corden with his team created a couple of new segments with the intention of creating those viral moments, which eventually led to the creation of one of the most popular late-night TV segments, Carpool Karaoke, where Corden drove around Los Angeles with his guests singing their songs, while having deep, unfiltered conversations with them in between.
They send me a lot of Calvin Klein's, like boxes and boxes. I'm not.
So do you just wear them once and just throw them out?
Yeah.
Do you seriously?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, I definitely don't wear them twice.
No.
There's so many.
Are you serious? You wear a pair of underpants once and then you throw it out?
Yeah.
That's the life. I had to turn mine inside out and wear them again.
Not only did this segment paint Corden as the fun-loving, chill host who could get along with anyone, it also painted these celebrities in a new light, helping the audience see them at a more human level, like when Adele went from singing her own songs,
"Hello, can you hear? I'm in California dreaming," to
flawlessly rapping Nicki Minaj's verse on Monster.
Career it's a mild day. Blink with thick ass, giving whiplash. I'm big, big, get cash, we can blink fast. Now look at what you just saw. This is what you live for.
Another such segment was Spill Your Guts or Fill Your Guts, where both the guests and Corden had to either answer very personal questions or eat some disgusting food, which once again helped the audience both online and in the studio gain a deeper understanding of their favorite celebrities. These segments were also coupled with a new show format where Corden interviewed several celebrities together so they could play off each other.
How many days I imagine? Here's a good question.
Put together, this ended up making his show a massive success, with it reaching over 10 million on YouTube by 2017, making the CBS executives look like visionaries for going all in on this relatively unknown British comedian, who had now started becoming one of the most popular talk show hosts in the US. Corden's digital dominance with his late night show also translated into several other high-profile hosting opportunities. In 2016, he hosted the Tony Awards, giving him a chance to showcase his musical theatre talents, while in 2017 and 2018 he hosted the Grammys. Suddenly, Corden had become the US entertainment industry's go-to guy for hosting responsibilities as well. His harmless, non-threatening persona made him the perfect face for the entertainment industry's biggest events. However, just when Corden was starting to cement his place as the de facto host of Hollywood, he started slipping up in a major way. Starting from a seemingly harmless Spill Your Guts or Feel Your Guts segment with fellow talk show host Jimmy Kimmel that turned embarrassing. It was Kimmel's turn to ask Corden a personal question, and it ended up being a pretty easy one.
Name 2 of the cameramen in this room.
But to his embarrassment, Corden didn't know the answer. He tried to stall for time by laughing, but ultimately couldn't come up with anything except for an excuse that no one bought.
It's a different crew tonight, actually.
Now, the live audience may have been laughing this off, but Corden's inability to name 2 of the staff members he works with almost every day rubbed plenty of people the wrong way, with several people leaving comments on YouTube like, "The fact that James Corden couldn't name 2 of his camera operators speaks volumes about him, and what an absolute power move by the segment producer to approve that question. Imagine having your own crew work against you behind the scenes and expose you as a terrible person." The next dent in Corden's harmless guy persona took place in October 2017, when the allegations against Harvey Weinstein were at their peak. Corden, as a part of his monologue as the host for the Amfar Gala, decided to make light of the situation by making an incredibly inappropriate joke that wasn't received well.
Right here in LA, it's so beautiful. Harvey Weinstein has already asked tonight up to his hotel to give him a massage.
By now, the gap between Corden's on-camera and real-life persona was getting bigger and bigger. However, he would only go on to make things worse for himself by hosting one of the most disastrous Ask Me Anythings in Reddit history, where 2 comments in particular highlighted exactly why people were starting to turn on him. Starting with a comment that read, "Hey James, you won't remember me, but me and my friends sat at a table next to you and Harry Styles plus some others in Manchurian Legends in London's Chinatown about 6 years ago. We didn't bother you, but you were a massively entitled who yelled and treated the waitstaff like shit. And when one of my party politely suggested you calm down, you got really aggressive and threatening. So my question is this, why did Harry seem so cool while you were a massive throbbing bellend?" Followed up by another comment stating, "Massive in person. I saw a League of Their Own filming live, threw multiple tantrums over minor things at the production staff, with him being incredibly rude to them, which made the other regulars seem very awkward like it was usual. Between each take, the other celebs would be chatting amongst themselves, bantering about. James was glued to his phone. At the end of filming, people got up to get a picture with James, and he massively kicked off shouting at people to go away and to go back to their seats. And the few he did let have pictures with, he was moody as. Seeing him like that made me realize everything you see of his on TV is a complete persona. Even most of the other comments that didn't include an anecdote about his behavior were still loaded with insulting questions, such as, why are you, James, such a deeply unpleasant person? Did your parents raise you that way? And ever thought about coming back to the UK? And if so, what can we do to stop you? In the end, Corden only answered 5 questions before walking away and closing the thread. But the damage was already done. Plus, it didn't help that all his roles in following movies were both critical and box office failures, starting with his role as lead in the movie Cats that came out in 2019.
Not a Buster Jones. I'm not skin and bones. In fact, I'm remarkably fat.
Which was so universally hated that it received both a 2.8 out of 10 on IMDb and a 19% rating on Rotten Tomatoes, with people specifically pointing out Corden's performance as unbearable, leading to even Ricky Gervais making fun of it in his 2019 Golden Globes monologue.
The world got to see James Corden as a fat pussy. He was also in the movie Cats, but no one saw that.
However, Corden still had a chance here to regain some of his lost popularity by trying to defend the efforts the cast and crew put into the movie. But not only did he not do that, when asked about the movie on The Late Late Show, he replied,
I don't know. I haven't seen it, so I've not watched the film.
By this point, Corden's reputation as a host and especially as a movie star had gone down the drain, evident from the petition created on November 5th, 2021 to keep James Corden out of the production of Wicked the movie, which racked up over 100,000 signatures. His presence in the Friends reunion episode in 2021 wasn't received well either, especially since he had no prior link to the show. But perhaps the most damaging incident for his reputation occurred in November of 2022, when Corden was banned from a popular New York restaurant named Balthazar. According to an Instagram post the restaurant's owner, Keith McNally, made in October 2022, Corden had apparently been extremely nasty towards the manager after allegedly finding a hair in his food. He demanded that the manager bring him and his party another round of drinks and make all the drinks they've ordered so far on the house. Otherwise, he would leave a negative Yelp review of the restaurant. Later on, he also became furious with the waitstaff after they made a mistake with his wife's omelette, allegedly yelling like crazy at the waiter, telling them they can't do their job, and that maybe he should go in the kitchen and cook the omelette. As this post started gaining traction, Corden immediately apologized.
As her meal came wrong to the table the third time, in the heat of the moment, I made a sarcastic, rude comment, right, about cooking it myself, and it is a comment I deeply regret.
And got himself unbanned. However, this did little to repair the damage to his reputation, as this incident once again highlighted Corden's complete lack of respect towards anyone who couldn't advance his career. To make things worse, Corden would even later go on to say that he didn't do anything wrong on any level, shrugging off any responsibility for his actions once again. Following the Balthazar incident, more stories from Corden's past started resurfacing, resulting in the hate towards him reaching nuclear levels. And by 2023, it was hitting where it hurt the most, his wallet. The viewership of The Late Late Show was at an all-time low, costing CBS millions of dollars. Still, a majority of its viewers thought it would survive. That was until one of its most popular segments, Carpool Karaoke, was outed as fake, when a post started making the rounds on Twitter containing footage of James Corden's segment with Justin Bieber, revealing to everyone that Corden's car was being pulled along by a trailer at the front, meaning he wasn't driving the vehicle himself. Now, in hindsight, that doesn't seem like a big deal, especially considering Corden's humorous response to the video.
I swear to you, 95% of the time, I really am endangering the lives of the world's biggest pop stars. Now look, I'm going to be completely transparent with you right now. Here is a list of every carpool karaoke where I've used a tow, and this is a list of every one where I was driving the car, okay?
However, for some, it ruined the authenticity of the segment, leading to public outrage. And while this did negatively impact James Corden's reputation, who deserved it at this point, it unfortunately also had a serious impact on The Late Late Show itself, something it was never able to recover from. By January 2023, the weekly average viewers of the show had dropped from 915,000 viewers to just 671,000 viewers, largely because of James Corden's declining career and image. As a result, on April 28, 2023, exactly 8 years after he became the host of the show, Corden decided to step away. Now, he claimed that it was to spend more time with his family back in the UK.
When Max, who's my eldest son, when he finishes 6th grade, that is a real moment for us where we knew and we always felt, and I've always said, that to move 14, 15, 16-year-olds around, you know, even if we went coast to coast or internationally, felt unfair.
But almost no one believed this excuse. Most importantly, Corden had done so much damage to the show, the network didn't even want to think about bringing in a new host, and took it off air for good. Looking back at Corden's career, the comparisons with Ellen DeGeneres practically create themselves. Both rose to the top through their comedic talents, defined themselves as kind, humble individuals who were grateful for all the fame they'd achieved, until they were eventually exposed posed as entitled, obnoxious bullies who didn't care for anyone they deemed to be beneath them. James, however, also used his skills as a theatre performer to mask his real personality even better. Even now, after returning to the UK, James has continued his theatre career, and even reprised his role as Smithy in the Christmas 2024 Gavin and Stacey special episode. However, that won't undo the damage that he's already done to his reputation, just like Tix and Roses, who lost everything after she was caught faking a very serious neurological disorder. Click the video on screen to find out more.
I mean, that's terrible. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's terrible. Faking a, like, that's a crazy, honestly. Honestly, if I ever become an actor, I won't be anything like that. Because I'm not like that now, so I won't be like that in the future, so yeah. I don't know, we'll see what happens in the future. I basically just got my second offer from BSU. Anyway, anyway, but yeah, no, I heard about Ellen DeGeneres. You know, that person. I heard about her and what happened. Uh, yeah, that's crazy. Me. And yeah, but anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out, homies.